Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Welcome to the secrets of a ghostwriter. Today, flashback. And I mean that as a tutorial title, but I also want to flashback to school. I can remember, and I went to a very traditional public school, one of the best in the UK. I don't know how. I also recall having no passion for English language and English literature at school, but being good at modern languages. You might find a contradiction there. Maybe I wasn't ready to have work thrust upon me, but I found it later for my own pleasure when I was more mature. But I do recall some elements of the teaching of English language at school. And this may ring true, or perhaps you just had nodded off completely and they never said it, or it passed you by. I do recall teachers telling me you should never start sentences with the word and or the word but. Well, I've taken enormous pleasure in writing many sentences that begin with the word and or the word but. You know why? Because writing creates a theatre in people's mind, and they're very dramatic words when you want something to happen. So I have no qualms at defying what might be, well, perhaps elitist education and doing it my way. I feel the best way to convey the story is sometimes to rip up the rules of English. And guess what? Look at the last text you sent or WhatsApp message or post you put on social media. I think you waved goodbye to grammar and protocol a long time ago. One of the other areas that people will always try and take you to in creative writing is they'll suggest to you that you should always write in the same tense, be consistent. I don't agree with that either. I find that when I'm writing in flashback, writing in the present tense gives you momentum, energy, and legs. You want people to replay the movie of the story in their head. And the best way to do that is in continuous present. It's quite clear it's in the past. You've flagged that up somewhere in the narrative. But if you suddenly write, I'm running at speed through the desert, 5 soldiers are on my heels, it does the trick. It's the perfect tense, although it's the present tense. Now, on the concept of flashback, one of the challenges I have writing memoirs, people's life stories, autobiographies, is that the concept of an autobiography is always incomplete. Now, I've had the unfortunate experience of actually writing an autobiography for somebody who will die on the last page of the book. And as I was writing the book, I knew that this lady was poorly. And we've discussed all of this beforehand, but that's rare and that's unique, that your story finishes in terms of the book as life finishes. 99.9% of people who write autobiographies are there to live and breathe it and to promote it. So every autobiography is incomplete by the nature of the fact that you are alive. Now, we've also talked in a previous tutorial about when you are writing a memoir, there's often a tail-off period. Your 15 minutes of fame can come to a halt, and then what happens in the rest of the story perhaps doesn't live up to everything that went before. So I write a lot of stuff in flashback. And how do I do that? So if we're talking about a talent show winner, we'll take them at the start of the book to the moment that the announcer says, you are the winner of. If I'm talking about the book with the policeman who's shot, we'll take him to the moment he wakes up in hospital and learns that his assassin has been gunned down by the police forces. You see what I'm doing? I use flashback, but I take you straight to the heart of the action. And one of the reasons I do that is because those facts are in disputable. They're in the public domain. It's not like I'm writing a fiction where you don't know what happens. You already know what has happened, and that is one of the reasons that you've bought the book. And it's the story, the narrative in between, which is the real nuts and bolts, the real saleable bit. So quite often in autobiographies, no one really is too fussed about those years before the moment of impact, the 15 minutes of fame. So I take you straight to the heart of it and then tell the story. And the story will come back round full circle. And I'm able to end once again at that very same moment of impact as the moments join together. And that way I don't have to address the issue of what happened afterwards, where you just went back to real life and it sort of fades away. So I hope that makes sense. It's what my old teachers at school used to call ring composition. You mention something in the first paragraph or page of a book, and then you neatly come back to it at the end. So I take you straight to the heart of the story, and I'll bring you right back there at its conclusion. And that's how I deal with writing a memoir, writing an autobiography. And of course, if you take people straight to the heart of the action, there's no doubt that you've got them on page 1. So I hope that helps. And I'll see you next time when The Secrets of a Ghostwriter continues.